I will go with you.
Dorothy Boyd, thank you.
I risked getting fired to write a letter to the company, begging them to stop making money against their conscience. But the next day, I regretted it, because what I said last night had seriously crossed my boss's bottom line. Now, all I could do was walk into the office trying to act calm. But just as I was bracing myself for a storm, the entire staff started applauding me, because I had said what everyone wanted to say but didn't dare to.
How long do you give him?
About a week.
As expected, I was ruthlessly fired by the company. The company not only secretly stole the clients I'd built up over years, but also told me to pack my stuff and get out immediately. Facing my boss's coldness and finality, I still had this burning belief in starting over. I hoped to take my most trusted team members with me and start my own business, but when I excitedly invited everyone, faced with the real risks, not a single person was willing to follow me. Even my assistant, the one I'd personally trained, turned me down without hesitation for a chance at a promotion. Standing there all alone, trying to hide my embarrassment, I could only pretend to be calm as I picked up the little fish tank from my desk. But right then, a woman suddenly stood up.
I will go with you.
Dorothy Boyd, thank you.
And just like that, we walked out of the company with everyone watching in shock. But I never could have imagined that this woman who risked everything to follow me would completely change the course of my life. I used to be a top figure in the sports agency business, managing over 70 elite athletes. I was great at what I did, had a good image, and was riding high in the industry. But I slowly realized that over the past few years, the company had become all about profit. As we signed more and more athletes, many of their professional standards started slipping. Because of this, I constantly had to deal with their messy personal problems. Even when one player was hospitalized for the 4th time with an injury, the company still pushed him to keep playing for commercial gain. The athlete's young son looked at me with hopeful eyes, hoping I could stop the company and help his father.
It would take a tank to stop your dad. It would take all 5 Super Trooper VR warriors to stop your dad. Right?
Fuck you.
The boy's words sent me into deep reflection. I started questioning the meaning of this job, wondering if I'd lost my way somewhere along the road to success. So I risked my entire career to propose to the company that we sign fewer athletes and care more about their lives. Never thought it would lead to getting fired on the spot. Luckily, on this lonely road, Dorothy was willing to follow me. But Dorothy's sister didn't agree with her sister's impulsive decision, because Dorothy was a single mom, and her son's expenses all depended on her salary. And now, she was starting from scratch with me, someone who had nothing. But even though Dorothy knew the risks, she still chose to believe in me without looking back. I was determined not to let Dorothy down. To solve our survival crisis in the early startup days, I traveled far to the home of the star player Kush. Before walking in, I took a deep breath, because without the big company platform behind me, I'd already lost that confidence I used to have. Luckily, before I could even explain in detail why I left, he said he'd let me be his agent.